That is how I first colored, putting my hair in the bucket, and it actually turned like bright flaming red. They cut that scene out, they did not show, and then they made me seem like, I was very stern, like tried to study for IIT. So I went to coaching for like 6 months.
What's it like working with someone you're married to?
When I started, I was just very young and I thought, my products is going to be hit from day one. But what pissed me is, like everything was directed towards me, and Siddharth was in the clear. You are a bitch. Your attitude is so wrong.
Oh, I love this.
I have actually given a speech in an engineering college, and I felt it was a waste of my time. My parents were also not expecting. It's like, you really want to get married? You're just 24.
Does one need to have colored hair to work with you? Yushika, welcome to Chumma Conversations.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, just usual work day at office.
Nice. I love like when I see Instagram stories from Birds of Paradise, like your office days, it looks like the coolest office to work in because
Yeah, we
everybody.
have a lot of fun in office. Yesterday we had a picture day at office. We clicked so many pictures. We'll upload today actually.
Nice. My screen suddenly looks very colorful because of your hair. I love the color. When did you start first coloring your hair?
It's been 10 years now, like I can't even remember. I just graduated from school actually, I
Mm.
think, or I was in 12th grade. So my father had this business. He used to make dyes, the
Mm-hmm.
pigments, like raw dyes, and export it. So, like nobody, obviously, you can't color using those dyes. You have to formulate and check if they're safe for use. A lot of
Correct.
rules and regulations. But I was just so daring. My father would take me to his office and be like, you sit here, do your thing, and I would just roam around and pick these dyes and get these at home and put it in that bucket and try coloring my hair. But
Did
it
you
never
actually
worked.
did you
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
dip your hair in
yeah,
a bucket of
yeah.
dye?
Yeah, and I never worked. And I told my dad, these dyes are bogus. They don't work. He's like, it will not work on black hair.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing about bleaching and all, I researched myself. At that time,
Mm-hmm.
nobody was, hair coloring was not even very popular. And I
Yeah.
was just, just in school. So, I ordered bleach from Amazon and tried to do this DIY thing. Just a
Oh,
few, like few strands. And I
yeah.
dipped it in bucket. That is how I first colored, putting my hair in the bucket, and it actually turned like bright flaming red.
Okay.
And my dad was like, wow, it has turned out really nice. And, like they are not safe for use, with just
Yeah.
dyes, but it has, be careful when you use next. But, they are formulated and we supply it to other formulators. And, that is how the process goes. You should not use dyes like this. But like, oh, I'll be careful. Then I got, bunch of other dyes, blues
Uh-huh.
and pinks. And I just kept going, and I tried a lot of other brands also, in the middle when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always coloring, like since as
Yeah,
far as I remember.
and once you start, it's difficult to stop, right? Like now my hair color is almost gone. I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, I need to, book a session and like get my hair bleached again and put color again because it's like an onward journey, right? Your hair is like an
Yeah.
expression of who you are.
Yeah, I feel, like a lot of people don't speak about it, but the attention is addictive, like it is addictive. Like I had phases when I would just go black, but then I would just miss that, like people would not notice or come up to me and say, oh, I like your hair.
Yeah.
And, it looks amazing. What colors
Uh-huh.
did you use? And it's just a conversation starter. So
Yeah.
I would just hate it. Like people are not noticing me, and, it's not spoken about enough. Hair
Yeah.
coloring gives you a personality that is, like it's a crazy boost.
Yeah, absolutely. And like how you mentioned when you were young, you were, looking for options of hair color. And you mentioned how you used to dip your hair in buckets of dye. What's the other most jugadu thing you did to color your hair?
I think this only, and I got my friends also to do it, like, and they were like, no, no, you are crazy. I can't do this. This is not the way you color. It's like, no, no,
Uh-huh.
it'll work, promise, promise. And I used to put their heads in buckets, and they would think, like I've made my friends Smurf, like head to toe, they're all blue
Yeah.
because
Because they put
I
their
was
head in
like,
the
no,
bucket.
yeah, 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 it happens. And then I would put with mug, ki nahi, nahi, yahan pe reh gaya hai thoda sa, and but a very DIY approach, and I've done this to all my friends. And but now obviously we have colors; it's much safer that way.
Yeah. What What were your parents' reactions like when you first started coloring hair? Because most at least the things I've heard is, man, I really like coloring hair, but my parents won't allow.
Parents,
So,
yeah, yeah.
what
That
were
is
your
actually
parents'
the
reaction
number
like?
one DM that we get on Instagram from all
Mm-hmm.
the potential customers. Like, I really like it. I see people on your feed, but my parents would never allow this.
Yeah.
And but surprisingly, my parents never stopped me. Like I was about to graduate school and my boards were over, so they
Mm.
were like, do whatever. And my dad made these dyes, so he knew, like, it is not the worst thing you could do to your hair.
Yeah.
Versus, my mother used to get those keratin treatments done. It was
Yeah.
like way more harmful.
Mm.
So because he made these, so he knew, it's not like the end of the world, and he would always encourage, and he would actually get me more dyes uske baad, like, oh, I've made
Oh.
this in lab today, you can try this. So it was just something that it became like our thing, and I just started coloring, and I never stopped. After that, obviously, everybody has their phases. Okay, no, I feel like I want to go off the grid. I don't know what was I thinking, but I always came back. You just miss it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You studied fashion design at NIFT, and then you
Yeah,
went on to do your master's in design management in
yeah,
London.
yeah.
So all of these seem like very creative fields, right? Were you always creative in school as well? And is that why you decided to pursue this part?
Yeah, I always liked the art and crafts, matlab, in school. But as Indian parents, they were like, no, no, engineering or medical, these are your options. So I took PCM. I had science as my, in 11th, 12th, and I tried
Uh-huh.
to study for IIT. So I went to coaching for like 6 months, and they
Okay.
used to give these assignments, and I was like physics, chemistry, math, and I knew IIT though is never going to happen. Like, obviously not. And I just was inclined towards arts, and I thought I'll just fill in the NIFTCA form and see. So I never had a backup also. I gave the all the usual exams for engineering and all stuff. But then
Okay.
obviously I cleared NIFT, and then I did not bother to check the results also.
Uh-huh.
And I got through NIFT in my first attempt, and that is how I ended up in fashion design.
I'm imagining like you with colored hair in an IIT in a lab
I
working
I
on.
always thought I would have rocked it. I would have gotten so much attention, and I would be, like, people would have remembered me if I was in engineering
Yeah,
college.
absolutely. I want to get into your business a bit, but I also want to touch into your relationship because it is a huge part of your business, right? You and your husband are co-founders. Um, and you guys met on a dating app, which I love. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. What was different about Siddharth that made him stand out from the other people you had matched before?
So I actually use Tinder quite a bit, to make friends, or even if like, if you're in a new city, it really helps to
Hmm.
connect with people. And when I met Siddharth, I was actually looking for something serious. So like, I was very upfront. Like, I'm not looking for a fling or a time pass. I'm looking for
Mm-hmm.
something long term. And like, gladly he was also on the same page. So that was like our first date conversation. We are not looking for time pass, and we both agreed. So like, obviously we did not commit on the first date, and we
Yeah.
met. Like, then we gradually met, and things fell into place. But like, before that, I was never like, okay, I was not looking for something long term. But
Mm-hmm.
there is a phase in your life where I had graduated, I had done my masters, I wanted to focus on work and get things in order. So
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for something stable, and I think I just met him at the right time.
Oh, I read somewhere that both of you all clicked because you're both huge Office fans.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode from the series?
Actually, I really cried when, like, at the airport scene, Michael was leaving.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just heartbreaking, but, I think that episode is I hate to watch it, but, it's like that love-hate relationship, but I do want to watch it.
Yeah, the way
But,
like he doesn't tell
yeah,
anybody in the office, right, that he's
anybody,
leaving, and then he
yeah.
has these like secret moments. Ah, yeah. I can talk about the office forever, and
Yeah,
if we
I
kept
know
talking, this
you're a
whole
big fan.
podcast would be
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that is what we talked about in the first date. We talked about the office,
Mm-hmm.
and, just discussed about Tim and Pam's relationship, Dwight's and Angela's relationship, and, what is your take on it? So we actually knew quite a bit about each other through, just talking about the episodes.
So which relationship do you like better, Jim and Pam or Dwight and Angela?
Dwight and Angela's, I think
Yeah,
that is
somehow I
a,
knew that was going to be the answer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, at what point did you go from being life partners to business partners?
So it was very organic, because at that time I was interning at IIM Ahmedabad's investment wing. So
Okay.
I always we used to talk about startups, what's going on around us, and Siddharth actually had an experience of having his own cafe. So
Mm.
he would always, it's not easy. It looks easy, but it's not. Starting up on your own is not. Managing funds and just looking after the whole business. It's not easy. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm also working. So we just discussed about this,
Huh.
and because my father had the manufacturing, so it just came about. I was like, I should do something about this. I love hair colors. I have a
Mm.
sort of a background also. Obviously we have to work forward. So Siddharth was also on board. It sounds like an amazing idea. We did some market research on our own, and came on the conclusion like, this is it. And we started working towards it. And in the middle of it, somewhere we got married also, but we were
Okay.
talking about business like long before we got married.
So you started the business together after you got married?
Yeah, we were talking about it, but the whole thing, how we executed it happened after the marriage.
What's it like working with someone you're married to?
I think it's very easy actually.
Yeah?
We love spending time together. We actually have different floors. So, if, I
Okay.
handle the creative and the marketing side, and Siddharth handles the logistics. So, we don't spend a lot of time together in the office. We just meet during the lunch breaks. But it's nice to be in the loop, like I can trust him fully, and, and so
Hmm.
can he. So, I know that, one part of the business I don't have to put my brains in. So,
Hmm.
I feel it's easy going that way.
Yeah. Do you ever find it difficult to separate personal life and work life? Are you
Yeah,
like always talking about the
definitely.
business?
That happens, like it's very different. And because we're early stage startup, it's not like we can say, okay, we'll work just 8 hours and then we'll not talk about work.
Hmm.
Every day, like I'll come something about from Instagram and say, you check this out, unka revenue is 4,000 crore. What are we doing? And it's just ghar ka normal
Yeah.
conversation. Then he's like, oh, you're getting impatient, we're doing good. And then, it's just like a slippery slope. And then we'll start talking about work. We have to control ourselves. No, 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 no. It's dinner time. Stop it.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Like you had mentioned, when you had just started looking out for hair colors, you realized that in India there weren't many options. And I completely relate because when I started, especially for like blues and purples, there was barely any.
Yeah.
You'd only have like gold, red, those tones.
Yeah.
And even if there were colorful ones, you would find them only on Amazon and Flipkart and some very shady brands. I remember I got something from China, which I was then too afraid to try, so I returned it. Um, when you first launched Birds of Paradise, how were you able to convince people that this is a legit brand?
Actually, my whole experience of coloring my own hair came really handy. So people knew me as the girl who used to who colors her hair.
Mm-hmm.
So people had this trust in me. And when I said I'm doing something like this, people were really excited. All my friends in my circle was like, "Oh, like we love your hair. We've been seeing you on Instagram for such a long time. We'd love to try your products." So
Mm-hmm.
I think it was not that difficult. We started off with like a consumer study with hundreds of people in my own circle. I just put it out on Instagram. I'm launching
Okay.
this brand if anybody wants to try. So I got so many sign ups, like over 200 people signed up for that.
Uh-huh.
But I sent free products to 100 people, and the feedback was really good. Obviously, we made some iterations after the feedback on some shades, and we actually got a lot of pictures and content via this consumer trial,
Mm.
which I then used
Mm-hmm.
to, when I started the brand, I would share these pictures on Instagram, made ads out of these. So that is
Yeah.
how, it just started.
Yeah, I think I got one of those ads as well because I was like, oh, what is this new brand that's, it's Indian made hair color?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Um, at what moment in your business did you feel like, okay, like this is really working? Like we have something really special here?
I actually never even thought like it will not work. I was just so confident when I started because
Uh-huh.
everybody would keep saying me, I love your hair. Where did you get it colored? I
Uh-huh.
just thought everybody's wanting to color their hair. Now I know it's
Yeah.
not the reality. Not everybody wants to have blue hair. But when I started, I was just very young and I thought, my products is going to be a hit from day one. So I would say I was overconfident. Now I'm
Uh-huh.
confident and I see the reality of it. But I
Uh-huh.
never once thought that my business would not run.
Wow, I love this confidence. I really do. And I think you need a lot of that when you're starting your own business, right? Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you don't, then how do you kind of rally the rest of your team around you?
Exactly. That is what helps you because everybody thinks, oh, she's so passionate. Maybe she knows what she's doing.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
my husband acts like he would be more practical. He's like, you
Uh-huh.
are in your own world. I was like, no, no, don't break my bubble. I know it's going to work. But he's the more practical one. He will, have the safety net ready whenever I fall, but
Yeah.
gladly I've not fallen yet.
Those are the best kinds of relationships when you'll are two very different people, but you'll balance each other really well,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure you've brought a lot of light and like, what do you say, spontaneity, I guess, to his life. Does he say
Yeah,
that?
exactly, because he's older also. He's 6 years older than
Uh
me.
huh.
So I would say he was so boring. All my friends would be like, "Oh, we don't want to hang out with Siddharth. He's so boring." I was like, "You have to now be more youthful in your approach."
Is
So
that why
it's
he
like,
colored his hair then?
no, actually, I never told him to. Hair color is something I feel people when they see it, they just want to do it. When
Hmm.
he saw that everybody in the office was doing it, it was such a good activity. People bonded over it. I
Yeah.
think he just felt the FOMO and colored on his own. Now he also can't stop coloring. He always keeps coloring now. He's also not into black hair anymore.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's once you start coloring your hair, like you definitely can't stop. Um,
Yeah.
Now coming to Shark Tank, that's I think.
Oh,
So you had applied, you had your audition in
yeah.
Mumbai, and once you got selected, how did you actually prepare for appearance there?
Again, like I was super confident they were going to take me, and there's no chance I will not be, like featured on Shark Tank,
Uh huh.
because I had faith, even practically thinking, because the product was one of its kind, there were not a lot of
Mm-hmm.
competition, and I just thought we'd make for a good screen appearance.
Yeah.
So and when the episode, like I was an avid watcher of season one. So,
Mm-hmm.
I loved the series. I purchased so many of the products from all the brands that
Mm-hmm.
featured. So after we cleared the audition round, and we were just waiting for their call, कि, आप मुंबई आ सकते हैं
Uh
वाला
huh.
call, and then they called us, and they keep you in studio for like 2 days and make you practice the pitch. And
Okay.
so first they ask you, what do you want to say about the startup? So I gave them a pitch, and then obviously they add in some one punches, liners, and everything, and make it more, entertainment friendly.
Uh huh.
But only that pitch part is rehearsed. Otherwise, we did not know what they were going to ask. It was all, on the stage, on the set itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we practiced the pitch for 2 days, and they also have these mock business analysts there on the set, who
Mm-hmm.
gives you, like, practice ke what might the sharks ask.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So about equity, they also give you some suggestions if like your ask is high or low. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's up to you to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basic practice. 2 days they will grill you, like, and it was very nice. We enjoyed. There were other startups also who
Mm-hmm.
were shooting with us that weekend. So that was a good experience. And in the tank, obviously, like, it's one of a kind experience, and like one of the best experiences of my life.
Yeah. Actually like that's one of the things that I had a takeaway from the episode that you guys were in is that you were very well prepared, like especially with all the numbers, the data, you were very clear. And even though you guys are young, I think that's why the Sharks were, I think, quite confident with your business because of how confident you were. You were like, this is my ask. This is what the thing is valued at. You guys come get me. Did you ever expect a shark fight to happen?
No, no, like we were just like, oh, what will happen if nobody offers? So I was like,
Uh-huh.
no, no, that's not going to happen. Maybe Vinita will definitely offer because she's
Mm.
in a similar category.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it surprised us when everybody was kind of interested. And then, at that point, there is obviously you don't know what you are thinking. It's just on the set, the moment is right there. So I was like, maybe we should not compromise. Once you've seen them fight, you
Mm.
want what's the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, they give you a time also, okay, you can go out, discuss. So we had this discussion. So that was like, let's just give 3% or 4%. I was like, no, no, we should fight. Let's do two only. And they cut that scene out. They did not show. And then they made me seem like, I was very stern. Like, we discussed the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But ultimately, I too loved the episode. I got a lot of hate after that, but I thought
Mm-hmm.
I did really well. I negotiated well, and we were already set on getting Aman and Vinita on board, because we thought there were brand synergies.
Mm-hmm.
But we also met Piyush later after the show. He's a great guy, and hopefully, maybe like we'll have him on board soon.
Yeah, he was like so into it. He's like, I'll give you for 1%. I'm ready to do the deal for 1%. But
Yeah, we felt
yeah.
so bad after that. We thought we should have taken him only, but
But
after the episode we
ultimately,
watched,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But ultimately, you want to do what's best for your company, right? At
true,
the end
true,
of the
true,
day. Um,
definitely.
Anupam seemed very salty. at the end of
Oh.
it.
Actually, when we were there, we did not think he was too salty. Or maybe they just showed it in a very, and we could not even hear what they talk, with each other because
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's a very big set. So
Mm-hmm.
when Vinita and Aman and Anupam they were talking amongst themselves, we could not hear. And when we saw the episode, we saw that Anupam said to Vinita, you come with me, and they were
Yeah.
having these internal discussions, but we could not hear it. So we thought, oh, we did well only. But after the episode, we thought, oh, maybe it was not the best approach, but
Mm-hmm.
things had already happened by then.
Yeah. he was I was really surprised as to why he was so offended. Like he was like, "Ye bahut galt baat hai, you're playing a dirty game."
Yeah.
And yeah, as an audience viewing it, maybe I was biased because I know of you guys, but I was still surprised, like, why is he taking it so personally and getting so offended about it? So I was wondering if, as after, like, did anyone from the show tell you anything about it? Like, you guys shouldn't have done this. You should have, handled it
No, we
differently.
got such a great feedback once you were out of the tank. All the producers or people who were managing Shark Tank, they were like, it was such a good episode. We had so much fun.
Yeah,
Itna, like we had such boring pictures. We have boring pictures. We have some good ones, but this was so good. So then
yeah,
we thought maybe they will air this. There is no way they're not going to air
uh
because
huh.
there was a lot of controversial things going on, and I felt कि सबको लगा it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. Especially you usually see the judges as always like cool, calm, collected. They have the upper hand in most cases. So it's always a
Yeah.
lot of fun to watch them fight among themselves. You mentioned that you received a lot of negative feedback
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
after the episode. Can you take us through that? Like what happened?
Actually, when we saw the episode, we thought like, oh my god, it's so good. We have done great work. We have negotiated well. We got the deal also. What can go wrong? Like I'm sure people would not. My mind would not even go there.
Uh-huh.
And then people, obviously, all these sharks are big people. They have their fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you mentioned, Anupam was pissed. So obviously, his fandom came at me. Ke, how could you do this to Anupam? And then obviously we did not take Piyush's deal. So his fandom was very pissed, like you guys are morons, you should have taken Piyush's deal. He's a
Mm-hmm.
better shark, so and so. So obviously they were just writing, going on and on about it. But what pissed me is, like everything was directed towards me, and
Yeah.
Siddharth was in the clear.
Mm.
So, not like I want him to get hate, but it just shows the mentality, like because there was an assertive woman, you could
Mm-hmm.
not handle, and you just want to direct everything which what you felt was wrong towards her.
Yeah, which
So,
is
yeah,
I mean, it's a very good point you raise, and I think you had mentioned this in your LinkedIn post as well, right? That everybody praised Siddharth, and rightly so. He
yeah,
was really good in his pitch, and you were equally good as well. I mean, you came to that decision together. They showed that discussion. Though they must have cut a major part of it.
yeah.
What were the kind of comments that people had directed towards you?
Oh, they were just so mean. Like, you are a bitch. Your attitude is so wrong. Even on Reddit, everywhere they make like hate posts about me. Her attitude was so bad. I think they, as some people would say, it confidence. They would see confidence. They would be
Mm,
like, this is arrogance.
mm,
And like she has everything served on a silver platter. She has. So her father's business, and she's like a nobody, and what is she doing here? And and she has no respect for the sharks, so they would just keep going on and on and on. Earlier I would indulge, but then I just thought, it's wasting my time also. I have a startup to
yeah.
run, I have work to do, so it's better I don't indulge and go on about with my work.
Yeah. How did you deal with it though? Because I'm sure, like, all of a sudden, all this kind of wave of hate coming your way it sometimes makes you also question, like, did I make the right decision? Was I wrong in my behavior? Like, did that make you introspect quite a bit?
No, actually, no. I felt I did the right thing, and what they were saying, it was faltu.
Okay.
So I was angry, but I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I have work, I'm earning money, good for me, bad for you. So it's not my problem.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. So I was just pissed, like, wow, what is it? Why are they not stopping? But after that, I just left it. Like there's no point reading
Yeah.
all the comments, replying to them.
And the thing about the internet is, like, they don't know you, they don't know who you are. They've just seen like a small clip of you in one situation, which is not entirely they don't know your backstory, they don't know
Exactly.
anything.
They don't know what they know. I'm coming to work every day walking. If I had so much money, why would I work? I would have sat there, enjoyed my father's business. But they would not see this. They would not see, it takes a lot to build a brand. It is not easy. But
Yeah.
obviously you can't say all these things to anybody else. Your thing. It's better to, just focus on your work
Mm-hmm.
rather than, explaining them. They would ask explanations. Okay, why did you do this? I'm not even a public figure, like I had some 1,000, followers. I was
Mm-hmm.
living my own life, and so much attention. It was just bizarre to me. Like, why would you give me so much attention? I've just come on TV for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much time that you are coming to my post, writing, sending me DMs.
Uh-huh.
It shows badly on you that you have no work.
Yeah.
So I was just like, these people, I should not waste my time. That is
Yeah.
what the conclusion was that.
Fair point. In your time of working in the hair color business, what are some trends that you've noticed about how people approach hair color, or what are some misconceptions that they have about hair color?
Number one would be, like you can get color on black hair. So that is something we don't know. We
Yeah.
communicated very clearly,
Yeah.
but people are like, will it show on black hair?
Yeah.
And, you have to keep explaining, no, no, like how colors will not show up on black paper. You will have
Correct.
to bleach your hair. And, then obviously that is something that we have to keep explaining to everybody who first lands upon the Paradyes page.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of trends, definitely I thought, like global hair color would be popular. But in India, definitely that is not the thing, because I was following all these international brands and their pages. So they'd have all these models with beautifully colored hair, all their hair.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I thought, we'll have similar sort of a vibe to our page. But obviously, it's a different market, different demographic, and people prefer coloring, the ends of their hair so
Yeah.
that they can cut it, or
Correct.
if they don't like it, or underlights are very popular, so they can hide it and not
Mm-hmm.
very, in your face. And also the color options that they go for are much, softer and subtle, like a wine or a brown or a copper.
Mm.
So, but they still want to change. It's not like they'll just go for a permanent brown. They would be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll do a coffee brown, then I'll do a ginger copper, then I'll do a wine, maybe then a pink. But the
Mm-hmm.
warm colors are super popular. But obviously,
Yeah.
there's a niche which always loves, cool colors. They want to go
Yeah.
blue, violet, and so and so. So, but I would say, everybody, the most popular one is the warm palette.
Yeah, I think also when you start coloring your hair, like sometimes you want to experiment slowly with like
Yeah,
reds and browns and then see, okay, will it suit me? And then you get a little more courage, especially also with how much of your hair you color. Like even I began with just like little bit at the bottom.
true.
Um, but even then, I get so many comments from people like, why are you spoiling your hair? Why are you
Yeah.
ruining your hair, etc. What do you say to people who say that to you?
Yeah, I just don't understand. पहले तो दीदी मेरे बाल है ना, like let me do, let me
Mm-hmm.
live. And then the thing is, like I just compare it to like gulab jamun. Everybody wants to have gulab jamun, and then obviously everybody knows it's, not the best for your health. But you
Mm-hmm.
can go to gym, you can follow a healthy lifestyle, but you can still indulge, right? So if you want a hair color that is something that you really feel for, or you feel you'll stand out in that, go for it. Like there is a proper hair care routine that you can follow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not the end of it. You are not going to lose your hair. It is manageable. It is not the end of the world. Like I follow a good hair care routine. I oil my hair on Sundays and do the whole thing, and my hair is totally fine. It's very healthy, and I change my color very often.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling people, like there's nothing that is not reversible here. The
Yeah.
damage, even if your hair feels slightly drier after bleaching, using a proper hair care routine will make it go softer. And also the semi permanent colors are made in a way that your hair quality will become better than it
Mm.
was before, after bleaching.
Yeah. You mentioned a hair care routine. What is your hair care routine?
Oh, I follow a very strict hair care routine. I'm very peculiar about my
Uh-huh.
routine. So I start by oiling. Obviously, now we have a whole hair care routine in Paradyes, so I use those products only. So
Mm-hmm.
I start by oiling my hair. So I feel ke chalo, because oiling is not the best for colored hair because it makes the color fade faster.
Mm-hmm.
But hair health is something which is very important, right? You
Yeah.
can't ignore your roots. So hair oiling is something I've been doing since my childhood. My mother used to put oil and do champi. So I start by oiling my hair, just the scalp,
Mm.
not the roots, and put the hair mask on my roots. So
Mm-hmm.
and sit there, like for 2 hours, 3 hours, for however long I want with that oil and butter, hair butter in my hair. Then I'll go use the color protection shampoo and conditioner, because obviously I don't want to use shampoos with sulfates and parabens,
Mm.
which would strip off the color from my hair. And then I also use Head and Shoulders sometime if I want the color to fade faster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good
So
tip.
yeah, so it depends on where I am, but
Uh-huh.
usually I use the color protection shampoo and conditioner, and after that I just end it with the serum, dry my hair, and I'm good to go. I usually don't use a hair dryer quite often. I let it air dry because I feel
Yeah,
it's healthier for your hair, and not like people style their hair a lot. I say don't apply heat. It is the worst thing that you can do to your hair is
yeah.
applying heat, straightening, curling. So I keep it to bare minimum. I don't style my hair on regular basis. Just when I have to go out somewhere.
Mm. But you have really nice, like your hair doesn't look frizzy at all, at least in what I've seen. And usually when you bleach your hair, it does get dry and frizzy. So I understand why people would want to use heat. So it's like a
Cash,
catch 22
yeah,
situation where you're like you want your hair to look good, but also you don't want to damage it. So that's
true,
something I
true.
think people always struggle with. Um, do you change your hair color according to your mood or according to the seasons? Like, how do you decide to change colors?
Depending on the occasion, actually, like a few days ago, I was invited to a Blinkit founders dinner. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I'll meet other people also. So then I changed my hair color because there was an event, and
Mm-hmm.
now I have somewhere to go. Then I'll change my hair color. So it depends on what event I'm invited to. I just time my hair colors according to wherever I have to go. So if I'm going on a vacation, I will see where my pictures would look nice in what hair color. So
Uh-huh.
we went to Japan, so I had like yellow green hair.
Yeah.
So I thought it looked really nice, against the very stark Japanese background, and they have anime things. Maybe I
Mm.
just fit in, so I kept that color. But when I went there, I had few colors with me. So in middle of the trip, I felt I should just go like a deeper blue, because I have some seminars to attend. I had work there, so
Uh-huh.
maybe this will be too funky. So I then changed the color in middle of my trip, but it depends on the occasion. But I keep my colors handy.
Nice. And I like they're in cute, like small little jars that you can carry around with you as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned on your website that you take specific efforts to make sure that you're environmentally friendly in the sense that you have glass jars. You try as much as you can to make all of your packaging environmentally friendly. Was this something that you were very passionate about right from the beginning, or was this based on customer feedback?
uh, when we started, obviously, sustainability is a thing that everybody talks about, and rightfully so. You have to take measures in order to protect environment, because that is the bigger goal here. So we definitely did make a conscious effort to use glass jars, tin cans, bamboo brushes, but that significantly raised the price of the product, right? Like if versus if it's in just a plastic container. And then the customer feedback was like, actually, everybody seems to care about sustainability, but the thing is, in actuality of it, if you have to pay the extra bucks, you would not. So
Yeah.
the feedback was, I don't care about a glass jar, I don't care about a bamboo brush, I want the product at a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel now our efforts have actually diluted a bit. Now we have started using plastics for our hair care and for other products. But obviously, our OG semi permanent hair colors, which are actually our highest selling SKU, are always goes in a glass jar. But it is very difficult to match the prices that a consumer want with the all the claims that they also want, be it
Mm-hmm.
sustainable, vegan, cruelty free. Obviously, vegan, cruelty free is something that we will never compromise on.
Mm-hmm.
But from the packaging perspective, I feel we had taken measures. We still do wherever we can, but it's not like we are not doing the best.
Yeah. Um, what are three tips that you would give someone who wanted to start their own business? What are some things you've learned along the way?
I would just say, execute. I keep saying, a lot of people come to me with their ideas. I am thinking, I would say, idea is worth nothing if you don't execute.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had this idea, when I colored 10 years ago, I also had this idea. Imagine if I would have done it, then I had the
Mm-hmm.
resources, I could have, but I did not. I sat on it, I enjoyed my life, I went to college, I partied, but it came to me a bit late. Imagine if I had done it, I would have been so much richer and been in a better position. But execution is the key. Unless you execute, it means nothing. So I would say, even if you believe in your idea, go for it. Start small. start, like when I started Paradyes, the team was just my friends. I convinced my friends to join me
Uh-huh.
for, like very little salary. I would pay them peanuts. But, I would just say, "Okay, just come, you are not doing anything. It's COVID, join me." And that
Mm-hmm.
is how it started. Now everybody's doing so well. They're, in good positions. But, start small and you'll reach somewhere. So that is like the number one tip.
Mm-hmm.
And second would be focus on your work. There's so much noise around you in today's timing. You'll get invited to podcasts, a lot of podcasts, not just one, but because I wanted to do it. But, even in colleges, they'll call you for lectures, for
Yeah.
TEDx events, and there are so many. And it is not humanly possible for you to go everywhere and do stuff. But,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it gets to you. Early on, I would also feel very privileged. I would go everywhere.
Yeah.
Then I saw, like it is affecting my work. I can't keep traveling, going everywhere and, talking about Paradyes. It is necessary to promote, but you have to see your channels. Go where you think your customer is there,
Mm-hmm.
where you will get the audience for your business.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't, it is a selfish motive if I say, like I want to give a TEDx in an engineering college.
Yeah.
So, I have actually given a speech in an engineering college, and I felt it was a waste of my time because,
Okay.
the guys did not understand the product. They were not interested. They, just thought, what business is this? So I felt very nirash. I was like, why did it happen to me? I went all
Uh-huh.
the way and, they were not interested. But then I learned my lesson, and now I choose to go wherever, I save my energy and put it in the work where it is supposed to be, and not, just mindlessly put money wherever, in
Mm.
a lot of times people would like put money and promote yourself. Like, no, my consumer is never going to read your magazine. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I think,
Ouch.
what is my customer doing? What is my
Yeah.
customer doing? What are they doing? And I react accordingly. So that is a lesson I've learned along the way. And the
Mm-hmm.
third and the last would be, keep your team happy. That is
Mm.
something, which is the key to building a good business, sizable business. If your team is happy, they will do their best. And in turn, it will affect your startup's growth. Don't push them and, don't force them. Like, we have a very strict policy. We start at 10 and we finish at 6.
Mm.
Nobody's staying after 6.
Wow.
So, but, people end up staying till 8 because they are gossiping, they're talking, and, they've
Uh-huh.
made friends here. And we have
Mm-hmm.
a nice balcony in the office, so people would stay just to chit chat, but there's no work after 6. So, people are really happy. I would like to think so. And, and that is what reflects in the work also. Our social media is doing great because all
Mm-hmm.
the team, they're always brainstorming ideas. What is going on? What is the pop culture references like? So, yeah.
Mm. How would you describe your leadership style?
I would say it's friendly, but not too friendly. Like, I would say I'm on the fence. I like to be
Uh-huh.
their friend, but obviously I'm not no, actually more of like a democratic style. I
Mm-hmm.
would take their suggestions because, in a friendly manner. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And outsource all my ideas, and then obviously the final word goes out. Whatever I feel would be the best for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
But and obviously most of the time I go with a consensus because I believe in my team and they know what they're talking about.
Mm.
But a very democratic style, I like to outsource all my ideas and ask my team, what do you think? Is it working? Is it not working? What colors should we put out for next season?
Mm-hmm.
But and very friendly, not very ke maine keh diya to this should happen and you have to do this. No, no.
What are some things about your office culture that stand out from other offices? Like, do you have like a special chai station where everyone gathers, or do you have like a special lunch area where everyone eats together?
We have hair coloring sessions every evening. That is something, like you will not get anywhere else.
Uh-huh.
Every day, somebody would be like, I want to change my color, I want to do my color. And obviously, all the supply is free for employees.
Uh-huh.
So they go crazy on the colors. Every evening after work, they would be like, I am feeling like a little, they would have blue hair and they'll apply yellow to, make it green.
Green.
They'll keep experimenting. And, like we don't stop them. Sometimes I also leave. I was like, I have to go. I'm very tired. But they'll sit back, color, and all we have interns who joined us 1 month ago, and all of them have colored hair. So they are also like, we also want to do it, and it's just
Uh-huh.
something that you see up, you get the FOMO. So now
Mm.
everybody in our office has colored hair, and they do these activities together, which you can't do anywhere else.
Yeah. Do you
Our
ever
office
have
is a mess. Our office is a mess. All the color, the floors are bad, the tables are bad. We literally work out of a messy office. But
a colorful one though?
yeah, a colorful one, true.
Uh-huh. Do you ever have parents calling you a bad influence?
Oh, a lot. As long as I remember, people was like, "Don't hang out with her. Ah. She looks a little risky." But all my friends would be like, oh, "No, no, she's intelligent. I used to score good marks." And
Uh-huh.
but all the parents would be like, "No, no, maybe she's not a good influence." I would like to say them. I would like to show them this podcast. See, I have a business. I'm doing so good in life. But yeah, back in school, I would hear this a lot.
Yeah, that's that misconception, right? And also in movies, like you see girls with colored hair and they are always like partying or, like very messed up or like they have no direction in life. And you're like, that may be the case in some situations, but not everyone's like that. Like you just color your hair because you want to express yourself in a way, you
True,
want to try something
exactly.
new.
Yeah, I'm not a rebel. I would say I'm the least rebellious person I know. I used to score well. I took science as my parents wanted. I went to a good college also, a national institute. I spent 4 years. I graduated with a good score. I studied and I married when I was 24 years old. That's the dream.
Yeah.
My parents were worry free. You married at 24 years old, and I'm now working. I would say I'm a very good child, and I would have been a very good influence on other people's children also. But
Yeah.
that was not the case. They always thought colored hair chicks are maybe they'll party, and I was not even partying a lot in college.
Hmm.
But that is what now with Paradise we want to change. It's not something only rebellious kids do. Anybody can
Yeah.
color their hair, and it's a choice that you can make.
Yeah, and your hair ends up looking beautiful. It's a conversation starter. If you don't know what to talk about and you meet someone new,
True, true,
there's so many
true.
great benefits to it. Um, I'm still laughing about the married at 24 part, which is actually by today's standards very young to get
Yeah,
married.
very young, very young.
Yeah.
Everybody's surprised. And my parents were also not expecting. It's like, you really want to get married? You're just 24. And I was like, no, no, I found the one. I want to do it. And they were like, good for you.
Uh-huh. How was that meeting with each other's parents like when you all first met? You with your colored hair?
Oh, so there's a funny story there. So when I met Siddharth, I had red hair, and
Okay.
I used to go to his place often. So his parents knew me; they saw me, a few times. And then one day I bleached all my hair. I had blonde hair, and I was knocking, and Siddharth's mom told his dad, there's some girl at the door, and he came and saw me, and he told her, "Okay, oh my God, Siddharth changed his girlfriend or what? There's some other girl on the door. It's not Yushika." And then they did not let me enter. I was like, Uncle Kholo. And then he was like, oh, you're Yushika. And then they refused to, recognize me. Like, what happened to your hair? I was like, no, I bleached them because I want to color them again. So, they were also alien to the concept, but they did not recognize me because I did like a global blonde look.
Uh-huh.
And but fun story. And they were quite happy, and they would look forward to my looks. We
Hmm.
dated for a year. I kept changing colors, and they would be very happy. Acha, next कौन सा करोगे? So
Have you ever
it was
got
a
a
good
chance
year.
to color your in-laws' hair? Would they
Yeah,
be
my
up for it? Yeah.
mother-in-law has colored hair. I colored the tips of her hair, and
Wow.
so does my mom, my sister-in-law also. Everybody has colored hair in my family.
It's like a thing right now. Like one person starts coloring, like everyone's like, okay,
Yeah,
I also want to try. It looks fun.
it looks fun, and they are rocking it. It's not. It has nothing to do with age,
Hmm.
and they have inspired or influenced so many of their friends to do this as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm excited about growing old is that I'll have white hair naturally. I won't have to bleach. Then I can just have colored hair like all the time, right? Without any
Yeah,
damage.
I keep coloring my grandmom's hair. She's also like, yeah, do it. She's so loving. She'll be like, ha, kar lo.
Oh, so sweet. I'm so glad that you started this business because one part of me, like as a consumer, I'm so glad there's an option in India, which is also affordable yet very high quality and easily accessible. I think that's the main thing, right? If otherwise you're getting scammed by strange fake products online. And the second thing is also what you're doing with creating awareness. I think actually not creating awareness, but you're just casually breaking stereotypes on social media because now you have a lot of user generated content, which is
Yeah,
fantastic to see. Like you see so many people who look just like you, who could probably be going to college with you, but they're all coloring their hair. So,
exactly.
do you get a lot of people who now want to submit pictures and videos to your Instagram page, which is
Yeah,
usually something a lot of brands struggle with getting this
struggle with.
UGC.
True,
Yeah.
true, true. No, it has never actually. This has never been a struggle for us. Thankfully, people tag us, people send us. Now we are on Snapchat. Also, a lot of people would send their pictures. What should I do next? I would reply them sometimes. Sometimes, my team would reply. So we are very hands-on with like that, and I think that is all. That is how it started. People would send us their hair pictures, and we would suggest colors. Then
Mm-hmm.
they would share it with everybody on their feed. And like, oh, Paradise team suggested me the color, and it looks good. So
Mm-hmm.
once the pinwheel has started, it just keeps on going. And now, by looking at them, other people share their pictures. And with the Gen Z, like they love making content. They're always on
Yeah.
Instagram. So they make these transformation reels. And good for us, we'd love, they would add us as collaborators, we'd accept
Yeah.
happily. So that's a good thing that has happened. We have to now put a lot of less work on content because we get a lot
Yeah.
of it from the consumers.
You're saying Gen Z, like you're not, aren't you part of Gen Z as well?
I'm on the cusp,
Okay.
I want to be a Gen Z, but I think I'm a little old for them.
You're a zillennial, I
So
guess, then.
yeah, like late millennial, but yeah, but I have my pulse on their nerve. Okay,
Yeah.
I know what Gen Z is doing. I keep following all these influencers, Gen Z influencers. Where are they going? What are they wearing? What should we do as a brand, to
Mm-hmm.
capture their attention? So it's something that I don't miss. I want to be aware what's going on.
What's the oldest age? What is the oldest age of the employee in your team and the youngest?
So Siddharth is the oldest actually, and
Oh
yes, and he's 33,
no.
and
Okay.
the youngest is obviously interns are very young. They're just 20 who
Mm-hmm.
just came in. But yeah, as an employee, I think yeah, 21, 22 would be the youngest employee.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you. So once you got that offer from the Sharks, how did you guys celebrate that night?
Oh, we went out to party. We went to 145 Bandra. All the models that that who displayed the colors on Shark Tank.
Uh huh.
So they were all our customers actually. They were not even models. They were
Uh
all
huh.
our customers. We requested them. We're doing this thing, Shark Tank India. Would you like to come? We need few people to show demo the colors. And we were all like, oh, we'd love to. So we just got them and colored their hair
Uh
that
huh.
same day. And after that, they were there since the whole day. So we thought, we'll go take them out to party. We went to 145 Bandra, we drank, we danced, and we celebrated. It was a good
Oh,
night.
yeah, must have been an amazing night. All right, let's go to fan questions. So, the first question is from Aditya from Canterbury. He says, how do you deal with customers who mess up their bleach?
We have actually now a very good infrastructure in place. We
Mm-hmm.
have people dedicated to customer calling. So once somebody has DM'd us, this has happened, we would ask for the number and call them because
Okay.
chatting with them is just a long process and it is very difficult to explain. And on call, I feel they are more receptive towards what we are saying and
Yeah.
explaining. That it never, sometimes people's hair have a lot of melanin, so it might take a double round of bleach to
Mm-hmm.
get the melanin out. Or sometimes people have used mehendi or some colors before that, so the base would not be so clear, you might see
Mm-hmm.
some copper residue left. So all of these things we call them and explain, and more often than not, it gets resolved.
Oh, it's nice. I didn't know you guys would call customers. That's a really nice personal touch. I don't know if any other brands do that.
No, because we know it's a new category, so there's definitely mishaps are going to be there. So we have a
Mm-hmm.
good customer calling in place who call the customers whenever they need our help.
Yeah, because I would also imagine that, especially if someone's doing it by themselves for the first time, you're all the more nervous. And because it's your hair, which,
True,
everybody
true,
can see,
true.
you're like so panicky about, whether it's fine or not. So it's
But
nice.
luckily, in the 2 years of our business, nobody has said that your bleach has damaged our hair or, my hair
Mm-hmm.
has fallen off. Sometimes, obviously, the result is not what people desired, but, in terms of hair quality, it has never hampered. So, luckily, the product is actually good. So, we are able to convince them to, do a one more round
Mm.
of bleaching and get the perfect base.
Are you guys also now retailing at hair salons as well?
No, actually, we want to focus on the DIY aspect of it
Oh, okay.
because salons, as we know, are expensive if you want to get
Yeah.
a hair color done. So, like in a salon, this would cost me upwards of 8,000. But
Hmm.
if I, can bleach and color from Paradise, it would be under 2,000 rupees.
Yeah.
So that is something we want to focus on. That we have increased our reach in terms of we are on Blinkit now, we are in Health and Glow now. So, we want to increase the touch points so that our
Mhm.
consumers can reach us, and we can reach them faster, but not in a salon space as of now.
Oh, I remember that was something that Vinita also had mentioned in her pitch, that she would help you get into health and glow. Was
Oh, we
that?
were already in Health and Glow
Oh, is it?
at that time, but very little stores. I think it was just some 30, but
Mm-hmm.
now we're at like 150 plus stores in Health and Glow.
Wow, congratulations. All
Thank
right,
you.
second question. This question is from Sumit Mitra from Akasaka, Tokyo. He asks, what did you love most about your trip to Tokyo?
Oh, so many things. I love Japan. And it was not my first trip. This was the third time I was going to Japan.
Wow, okay.
And my name is also Japanese. My father had this very special relationship with Japan.
Okay.
So
What is
I've
your
been
name mean?
there. It actually, like I still don't know. So he just
Okay.
named me after Yashica, which was like a camera brand back in the day, very
Okay.
popular.
Uh-huh.
So he said Yashica seems too foreign. So we'll just call it Yoshika. So
Okay.
like it's not even a very common name. So I think now I can say it means hair colors. I'll just make it
Okay.
up. No, but yeah, but I love Japan. I love Japan. The technology is super. I feel they're just living in 2090s, and I love the washrooms are so clean. Like in India, it is
Mm.
just like you would think so many times before entering a washroom. There, it's just like all the underground metros wherever you go. It was just speck clean, and I love that about Japan. Even the people, they're so sweet and just so helpful.
Yeah.
There's
Did
nothing I
anyone
don't love about Japan.
did anyone like reach out to you and ask you about your hair color there? Like any passerbys?
Yeah, actually, I met somebody who recognized me. So it was such a surprise. Like, I never thought somebody would recognize me in Japan. So somebody came up to me, "Are you Yushika from Shark Tank?"
Oh
I was
gosh,
like,
okay.
"How do you know me?" She was an Indian, but she was there for 10 years now. She was working in
Okay.
Japan. So she was like, "My father actually sent me your video because I work in Bella, which is also a hair color
Mm-hmm.
brand. So, my father said, there's this new brand in India, you should see. And I saw your video, Shark Tank video, and now when I saw you, I could not believe that you are in Japan. So then
Uh,
we clicked pictures and I put on Instagram and all, and I gave her some colors.
nice, because you always carry some with you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, are you getting recognized a lot now in public?
Sometimes, not a lot, but on airports, usually in colleges, wherein if I go, so those people, if somebody's into hair coloring, I think then they would recognize because I
Mm-hmm.
keep putting my pictures on Instagram also. I would go live, so people, even from Shark Tank, people recognize, but even from Paradyes, they would recognize. Before Shark Tank, some people, if somebody's hair is colored, I assume they know me.
Yeah.
Or even I would go up to them and be like, "I love your hair color," and I'll wait till they say, it's Paradise. And it has
And then
happened quite a bit. I would just go up and say, "Nice hair. Which brand?" And a lot of times they would say Paradise, and I feel so happy.
then do you say, well, I'm the one who created
No,
it?
no, I never say. I wait for them to say it. I
Uh-huh.
know you, but sometimes,
Oh.
they don't recognize me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. No, maybe the brand is bigger than me," and I feel so happy.
You should just be like, yeah, yeah, they are amazing. You can
Yeah.
just post them on Instagram some more. Yeah, that's so good.
No, I always say, yeah, even I use Paradise. I love the brand. And, talk about the brand some more because it's
Uh-huh.
a good, insightful session. If we are not doing something right, maybe, somebody would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Okay, last question. This question's from Priyanka from Mumbai. She says, does one need to have colored hair to work with you?
No, it's not a necessary. It's not like a prerequisite. You
Uh-huh.
can just come here. We'll do it for you.
So a job plus free hair color sounds like a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
combination.
I do it myself. Right? Every first color I give all my employees, I've colored their hair. So
Nice.
it's a bonus that you get after joining Paradise.
All right. What are your future plans? What do you have any exciting projects coming up? Some new launches from the brand you want to share?
Definitely. So we're coming out with a lot of new colors.
Oh.
And, that is something that I feel, people keep giving us suggestions that they want this, they want that. And we note it down. So we work on it. obviously my R&D is working really hard on it, and we'll be launching some new colors super soon. And
Mm-hmm.
also we're trying to increase our reach via, like, now we're on 8 plus cities on Blinkit, so you can
Mm-hmm.
get the colors in just 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
And definitely a big sale coming up soon, because people are going back to colleges and they
Uh-huh.
want to color their hair now. So in next month is going to be huge,
Oh,
with also
okay.
Barbie coming up. People are excited about the movie, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can expect a lot of sales in the month of July.
Do we have a special Barbie inspired hair color also?
Who knows, who knows.
Ah, exciting. All right. Thank you so much, Yushika, for talking to me. All of you are listening or watching to this episode on YouTube or on Spotify. I will link all of Yushika's socials down below and of Paradyes as well. Definitely check out Birds of Paradise if you're planning to color your hair. And now, if you have a spontaneous decision, you can even get it within 10 minutes.
Thank you so much for
Correct?
having me. It was such a, actually, I love talking about Paradyes.
I can
I
see that.
feel,
I can.
somebody calls me, I will keep blabbering unless they ask me to stop.
It's so nice. It was so nice talking to you and also getting to know you and your brand better because I've been following you for a while now and we've just DM'd each other for a while.
Yeah,
So it was really this I had such a great time and I wish you all the very best for
thank
what's to
you.
come and have a fantastic year ahead.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too, like, looking forward. Actually, I follow your content very religiously,
Okay, okay.
because now I want to see what is she doing in Singapore. And like, I have the FOMO, like, people outside of India, they have such a good life, they're having so much
Uh,
fun. She's
and
trying new things. She'll go
and
to Shake Shack.
yeah, and we sitting here are like, I miss India. I want to have some pani puri. I want to do this. I miss doing this. I just want to have like this morning. We were
Yeah.
like, okay, what should we have for breakfast? And Akash was like, I want to have aloo parantha, and I was like, oh,
Oh, I love your reels with him. It's so nice that North Indian, South Indian,
yeah,
that is something we really enjoy.
that's
We
our
in
daily
office also,
life.
we say, "Have you seen her this reel she made with her husband?" I was like, "Ha, I saw." So we keep talking about your content in office
Uh,
also.
Thanks. I'm planning on coloring my hair again, but I was planning on doing the bleaching here in Singapore, but it is
Oh,
crazy
it's so
expensive.
expensive. I know, no, no, it's very expensive. Even Japan, I
Yeah.
thought, I'll get my roots bleached, but it was
Mm.
not not budget friendly.
Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. All
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Now
Okay.
you'll have to use Paradise, next time.
Mine is still at home, my dabbas.
Whenever you come.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
New episodes of Chumma Conversations with your favorite content creators will be out every Wednesday. So make sure you click on that follow or subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode when it comes out. Have a great week ahead. Bye.